Hi guys, my name is Nom. Welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for you. Keep coming. I love all my returning friends. But if you're also coming for the first time, please come back. I hope you enjoy this video and you watch all my other videos and you keep coming back because I just love making new friends. So I am bringing you guys another video. Well, obviously I'm doing a video. Otherwise, why would I be sitting in front of the camera and talking to myself? I do plan on doing a Q&A very soon. So I want you guys to ask me your questions. Ask me anything you want to know. Is there anything that I've said that has triggered a question in your mind? Or is there something that you just wish you knew about me? Ask me whatever you want to ask me and I will answer it. So either leave your questions in the comment section or send me an email or add me on Instagram and send me a DM. Now I know that most people don't mean any harm when they say the things they say. I know that, I'm aware of that, but it still doesn't mean that your words don't have an impact on somebody or you don't just sound silly saying the things that you do. So this video is, it's hopefully gonna help people realize that sometimes as humans we have a habit of speaking before we think. That sometimes maybe if you just take 30 seconds, matter of fact, take a minute, take a whole minute and just connect your mouth and your heads and just take a few seconds, just to say, what I'm going to say here, does it make sense for one? Because sometimes people just don't say things that make sense, and you might actually find out in this video. That's why I'm talking about this, because I want people to be more aware of their words and be more aware of how their words can impact other people. I've come across people that have said or asked me some honestly really ridiculous things because they've made up their own conclusions about me simply because they say that I'm in a wheelchair or that I'm disabled. And honestly, it's like, every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh look, another person that common sense isn't so common to. Another one. Obviously, I don't speak for every disabled person. I speak for specifically me, my experience as a disabled person. So don't take everything that I say and label it or put it on every disabled person. That's why conversations are important, because you can't paint everybody with the same paintbrush. I was on a roll. Paintbrush, and I think the saying is paintbrush. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I really feel like it's paintbrush. So you can't paint everybody with the same paintbrush. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it because, guys, I don't know what else to keep it. I really feel like it's paintbrush. I don't even know what I was saying. So this is the problem with me. This is a problem. Like, how come we're doing so well in a conversation and then suddenly things happen and English just escapes me and it makes it very clear once again that it's not my first language, and then I go off on a tangent like I'm doing right now. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Right. So yes, everybody is different. So have conversations with people and find out, about them from them instead of making up your own conclusions about them. Story number one. This person just assumed that I could not speak for myself, that I somehow did not have the ability to open this big mouth that I have and speak for myself. Right. So I was in a restaurant, as you do. The waitress comes over with her notepad and pen, oh, well done, girlie. And she walks over and she looks at the person that I'm with and she asks, what do they ask? What would you like to have? She asks. And the person orders the food and they finish ordering the food and they put the menu down. And the waitress looks at the person I'm with and says, what will she have? The she being me. And me and this person looked at each other out of confusion, like, what? do you mean? Thankfully, the person I was with had common sense. The person just said, well, if you ask her, she'll tell you. And the kid goes, okay. What can I order for you? This is another thing, yeah. When people speak to me like this, I don't get it. You're right, darling. Why are you talking to me like that? Why? Why? Anyway, bring it back. And she says, what would you like to eat? Like that. And I said, well, you don't have to, do that. You can bring yourself up. You'll be able to hear me just fine. And so I tell her what I'm going to eat. And she's like, all right then. And I was just like, I don't know. You just don't have the energy. And I'm just like, God, what even is this? Because number one, she walked over to the table and found us talking. Matter of fact, I was the one talking. I stopped talking so that she could speak. So how then she thought that I wasn't able to order for myself? I just don't understand the logic. Let me give you some pointers, guys. Let me help you out in case you may not understand where I'm coming from, or you may also make the same mistake. Let me just help you out. If it was the case that I could not order for myself, because of course some people aren't able to order for themselves, let me just give you some pointers, guys. The person I'm with would order for me the minute they finish ordering for themselves. Do you see what I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going with this? They would not put the menu down and keep quiet if they needed to order for me. They would order for themselves and then they would say, ordering for Norm or this person or whatever, Norm will have, or this person will have. Do you see where I'm going with this? And we sat there, and when she walked away, we were both like, what just happened? What actually just happened? That was a crazy experience. That was crazy because that left me thinking, so you've just seen my wheelchair and just assumed that I was incapable of ordering for myself. Okay, girl. Then there was a time when I was looking cute or whatever, I had all my outfit just done, top to bottom, everything was looking good. I had my heels on. I was killing it. Ain't nobody told me nothing, okay? This girl looks at me and she says, no, I should have known. There's some people who open their mouth and their voice does something and straight away what's going to come out their mouth is just blech. So anyway, I said yes. And she's like, why are you wearing heels? Why do you like wearing heels? Because you can't walk in them. So what's like the point? And I was just like, is anyone else hearing this? Is anyone else hearing what I'm hearing right now? I was like, because they are cute, that's why. Then I was thinking, by that logic, it means that I should always be barefooted. Always. Because if I can't wear heels because I can't walk on them, I should not wear shoes, basically, because I can't walk in those either. So I should always just wear socks, always just go with my feet out. I don't understand. I don't understand. I was just like, and I just looked at her. And for those who know me, they know that if you ask me something silly sometimes, I will just look at you because I'm giving you time to hear yourself. So there was another time when I met my friend at Starbucks for a little girls catch up, as you do, a little hot bev, a little sprinkle, something, whatever floats your boat. But it was a good time. So we're sitting, we're chatting, we're just doing a little catch up, One of her friends walks by the window, recognizes her friend. She walks in and she sits down and she starts to chat, getting a little catch up with her friend, and I'm there. And I've said this before, but when I'm somewhere where there is a seat that may look a little bit more comfortable, I genuinely like to get out of my wheelchair and sit there. Because even though I have a very comfortable wheelchair, it's not really comfortable if you're in it all the time. That's why you will see for most of my videos, I'm out the chair because it's just other places that are just more comfortable at the time. So anyway, they're chatting away. I move myself into a little comfy little seat and I'm drinking my little hot chocolate, you know. And then she turns the conversation to me and she starts talking to me, asking me questions. It is talking about my living arrangements. Don't know how we got there, but we got there. And then she looks at me and she says, so who washes you and stuff? And I was like, huh? She's like, yeah, so who washes you and gets you dressed and things like that? And I was just, I genuinely didn't understand the question. Such a simple question, but I was so confused. I was just like, what do you mean? And she just kept saying, who washes you and dresses you? And I was like, I do. And she's like, oh, you can do that then. I was like, yeah. Guys, I cannot explain to you the level of confusion I was in. I was just like, I don't know how she's got into the conclusion that I'm unable to do this. Of course, again, I know there are people who aren't able to do those things for themselves. At this point, I am genuinely confused. Like so confused. Let me help you understand why I was so confused. Because I thought, okay, so let's just bring it back. This girl, when she came and sat down, she saw me transfer out of my wheelchair and sit on the couch. Alright? Okay. You guys will realize, anybody who knows me, that when I speak, I use my hands. My hands are all over the place. So then, with that logic, surely you can come to the conclusion that I can transfer myself and my hands work. I've been holding a cup of hot chocolate, so then I should be able to hold a soap, right? What else do you need to see or to know to be able to know that I can wash myself? Some of the things that people say or the questions they ask are genuine valid questions, but there are ways to ask things. Let me give you an example. The thing that the girl just asked me, if I can wash myself. If she had said to me, so what are you like at your daily tasks, you know, like self-care and things like that? Are you able to manage by yourself, or do you have to have some help? Boy, how much better is that? Because in that sentence, you haven't written me off. You've pointed out both points that it's possible that I could do this by myself, but it's also possible that I might need help. So guys, sometimes maybe just take a moment and just, you know, it's not sometimes what you ask, it can also be how you ask. There's also been times when people have just assumed that I'm paralyzed. They've looked at the wheelchair and they've looked at me and they've just got to the conclusion that I'm paralyzed. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but not every disability is the same. Not every person is in a wheelchair for the same reason. So you can't just be coming to these conclusions by yourself without speaking to the person. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna give you a story which is a little bit LOL, but it is an example of someone thinking I was paralyzed. So it was a week after my 18th birthday. I was going on a little day at the park. It was so cute. So anyway, we get to the park and you know, it's summer, so everything is green, it's beautiful. There's a little lake there with things that you find in the lake. You know, everything is good. We get to this tree that was just beautiful. We go underneath the tree and he asks me, do you want to stay in your chair or do you want to sit on the grass? And I said, actually, I would like to sit on the grass. And before I could say anything else, guys, he scooped me up. Like, he just lifted me off my chair and put me down, ever so gently, might I say. So anyway, like, not, I don't make anything of it. I'm just like, I'm being romanced. I am being romanced. He just scooped me up, like as if I was a feather. Guys, I was like, this man. Hey, God. So anyway, everything's good, we're having a good time, we're chatting, time's going. It comes to the end. We're now getting ready to leave. He needs the toilet, so he decides to go to the bush. So what does he do? He goes to the bush. He comes back, and I've set myself back in my wheelchair. The look on his face, guys, the look on his face. He was like, what happened? How'd you do that? How'd you get back in your chair? What happened? What happened? So I'm not understanding what's going on here. I'm like, what do you mean? What? And it's like, who put you back in your chair? And I was like, me? It's like, oh, you can do that. That's when the penny dropped. That was when I was like, wait. So this guy picked me up because he thought I couldn't get myself down. Oh, okay. So anyway, I started asking him, what made you think that I couldn't get myself down and get myself back up? And he's like, I just thought you were like paralyzed or something. And I was just like, oh. Honestly, I don't understand this logic that some people have, that when they see someone disabled or somebody in a wheelchair, they instantly cancel them out. Like, you are cancelled. Like, this person is unable to do anything and everything is out of bounds. And I'm just like, but you don't know the person. That might be true for some people, but it is not true for everybody. Like, are you actually serious right now? And that's the thing I think that frustrates me the most. The thing that I look at people and I'm just like, you're tapped. You are actually not making any sense, because how is it that you've seen a wheelchair and you've instantly thought that renders me incapable of doing anything? The worst kinds of people are the ones who are just ignorant. So there was this guy was in a group setting, and we're talking, and I was talking to my friend about a holiday that we were looking into, and this guy nudges my friend and says, well, I guess we know where all our taxis are going. My friend was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, obviously we pay her benefits, don't we? Oh, so that she can sit at home and go on these lavish holidays. I was like, there's some times where I hear something so shocking that even if I want to speak, I'm unable to. I don't have the words, and I sit there and I'm just trying to make sense of what I've just heard. Now, I've got some good friends. I've got some friends who have common sense, guys. So my friend instantly says, actually, I'll have you know that Norm works. And he's like, oh, she works? You work? I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I just thought, obviously, because you're disabled, I just thought, and I was like, no, actually, you didn't think. You just looked at me and you made an assumption that could not be further from the truth. So next time, please take a moment and think before you speak. Okay, thank you. The last one I'm going to talk about today is about a time when I went to this church thing. It was a big thing. There were a lot of things happening throughout the day. The session we were in was a prayer session. There were people there who were saying the prayer requests, asking for certain things we prayed for. And then the guy who was leading was then asking the people in the crowd, would they like to pray for the people that have requested prayer requests. So there was a prayer request that really touched me, and I wanted to pray for that person. So I put my hand out. Now, the guy leading, with clock eyes, he sees my hand up, and I see his face. He doesn't know what to do, because he's looking at me, but I kid you not, I could literally hear the dialogue that was happening in his head. I could hear him thinking, oh, like, this is a serious session. We're not here to waste time. This is, we want to really, do something serious and something real here. So anyway, people are looking at us now. Everyone can see that he's clocked my hand. So now he has no choice but to pick me. And he's like, yeah, no, okay, you can pray for that. So anyway, I pray, everyone else prays, it's done. The session is over. After the session, he comes to me and he says, oh, so you can actually pray then? And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, that was a really beautiful prayer, that was a spirit-filled prayer. Didn't know what to say. And I was like, oh, okay, well, thank you, praise God. And he's like, okay then, bye. And I just thought to myself, there comes another person who has looked at me and it's in a wheelchair and just written me off. And you can't say it was anything else. You can't say it was because I'm a woman. And you can't say it was because I wasn't, you might have thought I was, a young person. That's you can't really put it down to anything else other than the fact that my disability was what he saw and instantly wrote me off. Guys, there you have it. Those are some of the things that I have come across in my years on this earth. I honestly could not count the ridiculous things people have said to me. So let me know if you want to hear any more. But this wasn't to hurt anybody or anything, but it's just to shed light into some of the things that people can say without thinking. So I just want to help you guys so you guys don't make the same mistakes. If you have, just say I didn't know any better, but now you do. Now you don't have any excuse. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, just do better. Just do better. That's really all it takes. Like I said before, asking questions is not a problem. There is honestly nothing wrong with questions. There might be some people who don't like questions. And if they don't, fair enough. But I can speak for myself. And I know there are other people as well. Where asking questions is not a problem. We actually really like questions. But the problem comes when you ask your question in a way that is just idiotic. When your question doesn't make any sense. Or you've not really asked a question. You have just made an assumption. That's where the problem lies. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming to the end of this video with me. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care and God bless. Bye.